Welcome to Dreaded. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss our journeys into history's darkest truths. And if you find this story important, share it, because silence is what allows history to repeat itself. There are names we remember with pride: Carnegie, Rockefeller, Kennedy. But there is another dynasty, remembered not for what they built, but for what they destroyed. The Sackler family. They didn't simply create a product. They created an illusion of safety, of healing, of hope. And in doing so, they ignited one of the deadliest drug epidemics in history. Arthur Sackler, the eldest of the three brothers, began it all. Arthur was a doctor, but his true genius lay in advertising. In the 1950s, he pioneered aggressive pharmaceutical marketing, flooding doctors' offices with brochures, samples, and persuasive salesmen. When he promoted Valium, he called it a soothing pill for modern life. By the 1970s, 1 in 3 American households had a bottle of Valium. It became the first drug to surpass $1 billion in sales. Arthur discovered something dangerous: a period. If you sold doctors on a drug, patients would follow without question. And so the Sackler model was born: create demand, downplay risk, and drown the world in pills. They used philanthropy to hide their empire. The Sackler name appeared on the Louvre in Paris, the Met in New York, Oxford University in England. The name became synonymous with culture, generosity, and prestige. But beneath the marble and gold, the family was preparing their greatest deception. In 1996, Purdue Pharma launched OxyContin. It was marketed as a miracle drug for chronic pain. The advertisements promised freedom: the one to start with, the one to stay with, OxyContin. Doctors were told it had a less than 1% chance of addiction. That figure, used again and again, came not from a proper study, but from a single letter in a medical journal. A letter that was never meant to be used as evidence. Inside each pill was oxycodone, an opioid stronger than morphine. The coating was meant to release the drug slowly, but addicts discovered it could be crushed, snorted, or injected. And the high was stronger than heroin. One internal Purdue memo read, "We have to hammer on the doctors. They are the key to increasing OxyContin prescriptions." And hammer they did. By 2001, OxyContin generated $1 billion a year. By 2010, Purdue had sold over $14 billion worth of pills. At its peak, more than 250 million OxyContin prescriptions were written in a single year. But those numbers had a cost. Between 1999 and 2019, over 500,000 Americans died from opioid overdoses. That's more than the number of U.S. soldiers killed in World War II. In one West Virginia county, pill distributors sent 20.8 million doses over 10 years to a town of just 2,900 people. A mother who lost her son testified in court. He was prescribed OxyContin after a football injury. Within 2 years, he was gone. You can't hug a photograph. A doctor in Kentucky later admitted, "We were told addiction was rare. We believed it. We prescribed it to everyone in pain." The human toll was catastrophic. Families shattered. Children orphaned. Communities hollowed out. It wasn't just an epidemic. It was a plague. Meanwhile, the Sacklers' reputation continued to shine. They donated over $100 million to Yale, Harvard, and Oxford. Their name graced museum wings, courtyards, and medical schools. The art world bowed to their generosity. but the world of addiction buried their victims. By the 2010s, lawsuits mounted. Investigations revealed Purdue executives knew early that OxyContin was addictive. One 2001 email from a Purdue official read, "We have to be careful about how we phrase this. The word addiction will kill us." In 2007, Purdue and 3 of its executives pleaded guilty to misleading the public. The company paid $600 million in fines. But for the Sacklers, that was just the cost of doing business. OxyContin sales continued to soar. By 2020, Purdue Pharma filed for bankruptcy under the weight of 3,000 lawsuits. The Sacklers agreed to a $6 billion settlement. But not one family member went to prison. They kept billions of dollars. As one federal judge remarked, the Sacklers pulled the levers of power in this company, yet they walked away with their fortune intact. So what does this story reveal? It shows how pain can be monetized, how suffering can be disguised as hope, how a family can polish their reputation with art donations while financing mass addiction. It reveals that justice bends when wealth applies enough pressure, that influence can silence truth, that death itself can be turned into profit. The Sacklers promised healing, but they delivered ruin. They sold the world a miracle and delivered a curse. Now I ask you, why do you think the Sackler family escaped real punishment? Was it their money, their influence, or was it society's willingness to believe in miracle cures, no matter the cost? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your voice. And if you found this story important, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Because the more we uncover these truths, the harder it becomes for history to repeat itself. Thank you for watching Dreaded.